to win two straight games in the series. I imagine the moods in the clubhouse got to be way better than it was Friday night.
Yeah, and that's I think they did a good job yesterday of coming out with some. I thought they had some serious attitude yesterday, and I loved it. And they were quiet and intense, and we elevated our game yesterday. And today they came out maybe a little bit looser, but you could tell the focus was there and they were going to fight. And they knew what we were up against. A really good lefty that projected to be a high pick in the draft eligible this year. He's got a good arm, good mechanics, throw strikes for the most part, and they knew that we had to. When we got an opportunity, we need to score, and got his pitch count up pretty quick, and that allowed us to get to the bullpen.
Yeah, Dave, speaking of bullpen, your bullpen, obviously you don't have Tiger, Smith probably done after 50 some pitches yesterday. The way these three guys, maybe not how you would have envisioned shutting down an offense like Alabama, is just what'd you think of the job the bullpen did?
Well, bullpen was great. I mean, we would be outswept if it wasn't for the bullpen. And, I love good starting pitching, but the bullpen, that's going to determine if you have a good team or not, because the games are won 7 through 9. I mean, 7th, 8th, and 9th innings that's when games are. If you can't stop people, you got a little lead there, and you can't stop people when you get your starter out. It's demoralizing. And what Smith did yesterday, and then what Carter and Adcock and Wood did today. I mean, you couldn't have drawn it up any better looking back on it. And those guys, they obviously, none of the guys I just mentioned will throw at all until next weekend, but it's a short week for us because we play Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week coming up. So you won't see them on the mound Tuesday, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys, a couple of things about Arkansas State, or anybody else have any game things? Oh, Swarsco. Okay, I didn't know. Okay.
Come on, it's a free meal, man. Come on.
Scratch that then.
Oh, not anymore. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I was not trying to jab you guys at all. That was a bad. Sorry.
Hey, Coach, what can you say about the positioning that Callie had today? Because I think there were 2 lineouts right at him, and then another 2 or 3 ground balls where it looked like he was in great position to make a play.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Just looking at the spray chart just from the first 2 games, and then we have obviously the rest of their season, and as they have ours, and they're playing a pretty good shift, and they gambled a little bit. It cost them a couple times, but it also saved them there in the bottom of the 8th too. That was a great play. But they really hit to the same spots, and we just moved them around. And Callie kind of knew where he was going, and I'd move him a foot here, there, a step here, there, and it paid off. And he did a nice job. He probably had 5 or 6 plays today, made him look easy. It's a good job.
Wagner had a couple of quiet games at the plate, but then came through for you today. Just what did you see from him today at the plate?
Well, he wasn't, I think that he was getting frustrated. He was getting behind the count with off-speed pitches, and then they'd bust the fastball just above the strike zone. He'd foul it off, swing and miss, kept it together. And then they tried to do that with him in that at bat. He didn't bite and came back with, I think, a changeup or a slider. I don't know what it was. It looked like a changeup. It might have been a slider that just backed up, but he crushed it. And I'm just glad the wind started to push it at the end. It was definitely fair, but it stayed true because I had a great view of it. And, at the time we're down a run, and then we were up a run. It was a big swing.
And you've been rotating your catchers, but you started rolling all 3 games this weekend. How do you think he held up over the weekend?
I thought he did good. When you play a night game to a day game, that's always a concern. Day to day, not so much. We're done at 5, got a chance to eat and relax and regroup and get your legs back underneath you a little bit. A lot of times if you get done at 10 at night and you got to be back at the field, the next day at 8 and again at 10 and playing, it can get a little tough, but I thought he did a great job. I mean, his catching and blocking was elite this weekend, in my opinion. Picked a guy off first. They threw a runner out. Maybe shut their running down a little bit. They don't run a lot like us, but they just pick and choose their time. So I think I'd grade him an A if I was grading him. I need him to do better in school, but I'm just kidding. He's sitting over there. But yeah, great job.
This wasn't the first time you've seen Tom Hess since he left here, but he had a big weekend for
Yeah.
Alabama. First time being back here in Fayetteville. What did you think about the way he played?
I thought he swung the bat extremely well. He caught well yesterday too. And even though we stole, I don't steal any bases. Tavian stole a base on him when, I would say if you're a base stealer, you can steal a base when everybody in the park knows you're probably going to steal. There's 2 outs there. And I think Dom made a perfect throw, but Tavian beat it, got a good jump on the pitcher. And, I think it seemed like he got 2 hits a game and hit a couple other balls hard. I mean, he's always been a good hitter, and his catching's gotten a lot better. Arms good. Played really well. He's a really good kid, young man. I mean, he's it was really for his good at the time to go because of our situation, to go play. And he went to McLennan Community College, where at the time Nate's brother was the head coach, and all they did was win the national championship. So he had a really good experience.
But your pitching staff and the way they pitched with runners on base this weekend, because Alabama stranded a lot over
Yeah.
3 games.
I mean, again, it was great. Pounded the zone, got some fly balls, and they hit a couple double play balls today, but the guy that hit him too fast. I mean, he could just really run. I thought we did an outstanding job. The number of runs that were scored today and yesterday, when you look at Alabama's numbers overall, like I said, I don't think I could have expected us to do much better.